My question to you, sir, is did she get dressed and go to work and leave the child with a nanny, as far as you know?
As far as I know, yes.
For 2 years.
It might not have been an exact 2-year period. It could have been a little bit less than that. You know, I'm not really known how long that she might have been.
A year and a half.
Possibly a year and a half. Could have been a year. I'm not really sure.
So you don't know the difference. You know Kaylee was only 2.5.
Yes.
Correct? So for most of her life, Casey dropped her off at a nanny that didn't exist.
Objection. Calls for speculation.
I'll rephrase it, Judge.
Sustain.
Casey dropped Kaylee off at a nanny that you never met.
Maybe not a whole 2 years. But to answer your question, yes. Someone that I never met, someone I had never had a phone number for or had any indication to go to pick Kaylee up or anything like that.
For most of her life.
For probably maybe a half of her life. I'm just going in a roundabout way. But actually, to answer your question, Kaylee, when Kaylee came up missing, Kaylee was 2 years and 10 months, not 2.5. So that needs to be clarified, sir, with you.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. Did you ever go to a sports authority to verify if Casey worked there?
Absolutely, I did, yes.
And you found out she wasn't working there?
I found out that she was not employed there. Because I went to go surprise my daughter at lunch.
Just surprise her?
Yeah, to take my daughter to lunch, just to see how she was doing. Yes.
And it had nothing to do with the fact that you suspected she was not working?
That was a twofold thing, yes, to see if she was there. And if she was there, great, terrific, I'll take her out to lunch.
So which was it? Was it because you wanted to surprise her for lunch, or you wanted to verify and see if she was lying to you?
Objection. Argument.
Sustain.
Are you saying, sir, that both of those were the reasons? Is that what your testimony is?
One, hoping that she was working there. Secondly, if she was, I would take her out to lunch.
Now, the Sports Authority was not Universal Studios.
No, it was not, but I understood from Casey being an event planner, again, they do not run these events every single day. She can
My
only
question
be.
to you, sir, is Sports Authority.
I'm trying to explain.
Sustain. Listen, folks. Ask the question. Let there be a break between the answer, Mr. Anthony. The court reporter cannot take it down when both of you are talking. And if a witness is being over-responsive, counsel say the witness is being over-responsive. But do not interrupt a witness when the witness is attempting to answer the question. You may proceed.
Sports Authority is not the same as Universal Studios.
I will agree, yes.
Now, did you ever go to Universal Studios to inquire if your daughter was working?
No, I did not.
I want to discuss June 16th of 2008. Do you understand?
Yes,
You said you had breakfast with Kaylee.
yes.
Kaylee would often have breakfast with you.
Numerous times, yes, we'd have breakfast together. Yes,
Kaylee loved to swim.
yes.
And Kaylee would almost go swimming every day.
More, she would go as frequently as I know that Cindy would take her or Cece would take her. I rarely ever got in the pool with Kaylee unless Cindy and I were there together with her.
Kaylee would wake you up and say, "Jojo, swim. Jojo, swim."
She
Correct?
did a few times, yes.
And Kaylee could get out of the house relatively easily. Correct?
Relatively easy. I'll agree with you to that, yes.
Now, around June 16, 2008, you were having significant marital problems with Cindy, were you not?
Not on that particular day, no.
Let's go back for a little bit. Once Kaylee was born, you moved out, did you not?
Objection. No.
Approach.
Out.
No.
Around that time. How many months before you moved out?
November, towards the end of November, first part of December 2005.
Sorry?
Towards the end of
September?
November, the beginning of December 2005.
So Kaylee would have been just a few weeks, a couple months old?
If I'm not mistaken, from August to December could only be almost 4 months.
I'm sorry?
From August to December could be almost 4 months or going into like a fifth month.
She was an infant when you moved out.
Yes.
And Lee also moved out.
Lee was out on his own, trying to establish himself as a young man in the world, just trying to get out to be on his own, to have some responsibility.
And the issues with you moving out of the house was because Casey didn't want you around.
No,
Is that correct?
That wasn't the reason. That wasn't the reason.
What were the reasons for you moving out of the house?
Cindy and I had some financial difficulties. We were going through a really tough marital time, and that is a personal matter between her and I. And that's not for the court or you to decide. I'm not on trial here for that.
This is when you told Cindy you had a gambling problem, correct?
I'd done some gambling on the internet. Yes, sir. That's well established, and I'm not going to deny that. I did it.
Now, did you tell the FBI that it wasn't a gambling problem, that you fell for some Nigerian bank scam?
There was a Nigerian bank scam and also some minor gambling that was done on it. So, I mean, I didn't lie to them. I told them the truth. I'm telling you the truth today.
So it's both. You were gambling and you fell for a Nigerian bank scam as well.
And I believe there's other people that have happened to. Yes, sir, it did. Yes.
And when you moved back, the tension between you and Casey continued.
Not really. There was some tension because I had moved out of the house, but it wasn't because of prior tension between Kaylee and I or Casey and I or anything like that. I mean, Cindy and I were going through a rough time. It happens. But as far as when I came back to the house, things were a lot better because I didn't just come back all of a sudden. It took months for me to gain some confidence back with Cindy and our marriage and stuff again. And it's something we're still working on today.
Now, going back to June 16th, after you had breakfast with Kaylee, what did Kaylee do then?
Oh, we watched a DVD. I'm almost positive we did. As far as which one, I can't remember specifically. But just spending time with her, coloring a coloring book was something we did pretty much an everyday occurrence.
And
just spending time with her.
And it's your testimony that both Casey and Kaylee left the house at 12:50.
12:50 or shortly thereafter. Yes, sir. Positive. I know that for a fact.
And what time did you go to work at that day?
Shortly after 2 o'clock, 2:10, 2:15. I only had about a 10-minute drive to go to work, and I just lived a short distance. I worked a short distance away.
Now, you described to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what Kaylee was wearing that day.
Yes.
And that was a pink top?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And jean shorts.
Yes.
And white sunglasses.
She had white sunglasses. Yes.
And a backpack with monkeys on it. Is that correct?
When I first was asked the question by the state, I just said a backpack. But yeah, it did have what I believe was a monkey design on it. Yes.
What did Cindy wear that day?
I have no idea. I can't remember what Cindy wore that morning because Cindy would leave sometime between 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. She was very professional wearing. It could have been a pair of slacks and a top. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
What did Cindy wear the next day?
Objection. Relevance.
Overrule as to that question.
What did Cindy wear the next day?
Again, it could have been slacks. It could have been a dress. A nice top. I don't know. I don't know what Cindy wore the next day.
Now, you weren't asked about what Kaylee was wearing for 1 month after she went missing, correct?
You're going to have to give me a little bit more of a question here for me to give you an answer.
Nobody asked you what Kaylee was wearing the last time you saw her until July 15th, 2008, 1 month after you last saw her.
That's correct because I didn't know where I didn't know that we would be having a missing child in our lives and be thrown into this. I didn't know anything about that, but I specifically know what she wore because that's the last time I saw her, and that's what she had on.
And you had no idea when you saw her for the last time that that would be the last time you saw her.
That's correct.
But yet, 1 month later, you still remember what she was wearing.
Sustained.
Did you remember 1 month later what Kaylee was wearing?
Sustained.
But you can't recall what your wife was wearing.
Sustained.
Do you remember what your wife was wearing last Tuesday?
Sustained.
Now, Mr. Anthony, you reported gas cans missing on the 24th of June, right? Is that a yes?
May I answer, Your Honor?
Yes, you can answer.
On June 24th of 2008, yes, I made a report to the Orange County Sheriff's Department about a break-in of a shed. Someone forcibly broke into a shed and removed gas cans.
And you did that because you were concerned that someone was burglarizing your shed.
Sustained.
Mr. Anthony, you knew Casey would take gas from the gas cans, did you not?
Sustained.
Mr. Anthony, when you got the gas cans back from your daughter, how did that occur?
Sustained.
Mr. Anthony, did you ever notice any duct tape on that gas can?
Yes. You may continue.
Mr. Anthony, you testified today that Kaylee did not drown in the pool, correct?
That's correct.
And you said that when you heard this today, we would not be here if that were the case. Do you remember saying those words?
Yes, sir.
But you've heard this previously, have you not?
Okay.
Was the question is phrased?
Yes.
Okay. Now, and you've heard this previously from several different areas, do you not? Did you not?
No, sir, just one area.
You've also heard from the prosecution that that's how Kaylee died. Did you not?
Yep.
You may.